So, hi everybody and welcome back. This is a C++ tutorial series for absolute beginners. We're doing just the basics and this is video number 4. And in this video we continue where we stopped last time. We stopped with a local ID and this time we are watching the start point. And what does this mean? I will show you in a moment. First of all, let's open our project, which we created last time. In my case, it's the first project. But of course, if you have your own IDE, open this one up and you can follow there along, or I show you this one too. If you have here an online IDE and no local ID or anything, you can just go online and find anyone and follow here too. So just as a reminder, so we are here and in this video I said we find the starting point of a program. What the hell is a starting point and what does this mean? Let's go. So first of all, here on the right side in our source file we have our CPP file, and I said the CPP file is in this case our main file, but in future we will have probably two files, a header file and a CPP file. So, but we concentrate now here on this CPP file and we find the starting point of our program. So when we watch this code here, which is represented here, we see on top something in green, and then we see here in other colors here other things, and then we see a lot of green again. First of all, a side note, we are not talking about comments, but this green thing, what you see here, are just comments, and comments are made primarily to help the programmer. The program, the C++ compiler, and for the functionality of the program itself, it doesn't care. It will kick out all the screen stuff here later when it's compiling. So in real, the PC is only seeing this one, and this one it will be kicked out because this one is just for the programmer, for ourselves, and it should help us, or it should give us information, or it should make our life easier. But right now it's not doing that, right? It's more irritating, so you can read here through if you have any comments, but right now it's irritating and there are some information, but we don't need them. And if it's irritating, then delete comments because they failed their function. They should help us. Okay, now I have deleted them. I press Ctrl S for save, and you can see that. So now what we have here is on top, it starts something like with a sharp include and then the strange name here, and then we have here int main. And where is the start point now? Normally you would say, perhaps you would say, oh, here the first line, right? Let's put this a little bit higher. So now it's the first line, and normally you would say here the first line is the starting point, and that is not true. In programming, in general, every programming language has one starting point, which means the program, so after you compiled, and there is an anchor point. So if you start the program, when I press here play, here our play button is called here local window debugger, and it executes now all that what comes up. The starting point is all time defined in every language, but it's different, right? Not all time the same. In C++, it's very simple. It is here, this int main, and very important, it stops not here. This one belongs to them too, this curly braces, but this one, what you see here right now, belongs not to the starting point. Let's get rid of them. I cut it out first, and later I include it again. Let's cut this out. Oops, I marked them. Control X to cut out. Let's Control S for save. And now this is actually our starting point of the program. And what you see here is already something we learn later, a function. But important is, it is just a function, not a function call. And what a function call means, we will discuss later too. What you have just to know is, when you start the first line, you will see something like int main, and then this curly braces, and between this curly braces you will write your code, at least the start point of your code. So that said, then, but when we watch this again, we have here a problem, right? What the hell is then this first line here? I mean, I just told you the starting point is this int main. Okay, the program, when it starts, it jumps to this int main, then it jumps between these curly braces, and then it will read what you have written here. But why is then here something on top? The question is, this here is the starting point for your coding, also for our coding, but not for the presets for the programming. What I mean with that preset is, for example, on top you can see a line which is addresses more the programming language itself. It has nothing to do with active coding. It is a preset, which means think about it like libraries. The programming language asking for libraries, and these libraries you just write on top, and this one will be even executed before this one. Interesting, but I just told you, wait a minute, I just told this is the starting point, not this one, right? But this one is the coding starting point. This is where for the programmer, but the program itself starts reading this one and includes behind the scenes, we can say, all the libraries which it needs to read your code, which you are going to write here. And in this example here, I bring back now this little line, which I cut out later with Control V, or you can just write this one. For this little line, doesn't matter if you understand nothing here, it says I need a library to use this line here. And what I said, this one is not active. Behind the scene, it says give me this library, and I can execute this line of code which you write here. What libraries are and so on, it comes later. The only thing what I wanted to just show you is this is the starting point. Remember that int main, between the curly braces we start, but there are things which we use and we can't use them because the programming language asks for libraries to use them, and these libraries we can write on top. We have to write it on top, and we will go on. I think that's enough for this video. What you have to learn is, at this point, let me cut this out. It is not this line actually. Just learn that we have a starting point, int main. This one is already called a function. And in between the curly braces, which might be not look all time like this. Sometimes they look like this, or like this in one line, and they wrote it here in one line. But important is this, when you see int main, first there is a int main, and then this parenthesis, and then the curly braces. Between that, we are writing our code. So I saved this one, and I show you fastest in our online IDE too. Perhaps you are following that. Here in this case, we have here even more code when I compare this one to my. Let's put this one back, Control V, Control S for save. And when I compare this one, this online IDE has even more code than what I have here, because let me show you this. What I print out here is, when I start this, it is just popping up and it says hello world, very famous starting point for beginners. And on the other side, our online IDE, when I press here run, as you see, the compiler has a strange looking button sometimes, whatever. We press run, and here, what is your name? And this is our other functionality. Okay, my name is Mehmet. And then it says, instead of hello world, like here, it says hello Mehmet. Why? Because I provided the name, but you can also see we have here a little bit more code. So important is here, the start point, int main. Yes, it is here. We found it. The curly braces, which you should know. Yeah, I have it. And between this line, we write our code later. Doesn't matter if you understand nothing. Right now, that's not the thing which you have. But important here, you don't understand what this meaning is, but you have to know the top. You are including libraries, which you don't care, but the programming language wanted. What I mean with you don't care, for example, the things what you are going to write here down works only if the programming language has libraries to use them correctly behind the scenes. So I think that was enough for this video. And in the next video, we will continue here, and stay tuned. Bye.